Quick update on injuries. Wallace right shoulder, Tyrell Sutton shoulder, Goodson only because he left dehydration, and then Trent Guy hamstring.
Coach, the last drive before halftime, I think it was about 11 plays, 10, 11 plays, you went with a lot of 3 wide receiver sets. Why did you decide to go with 2 rookies as opposed to maybe Dwayne Jarrett and Kitty Moore with Wallace Wright?
Well, that's one of the functions of preseason is evaluate the players you have, and you know, we haven't seen a lot of these young guys in game situations, so you know, that's how we find out. So we got a system to do it, and we wanted to take a look at all those guys so we can pick the best 53 at the end of next week.
John, in general, how did you feel about the passing game after so much attention's been paid to that over the last week?
Well, I think, you know, as I mentioned to the touchdown luncheon, is, you know, 2 of our 3 biggest playmakers from a year ago haven't played a snap in the preseason. So one of those is, you know, a wide receiver. And, you know, I think we're getting a chance. We're a very young team overall, and particularly at the receiver position. So, you know, I think we've still got a lot of work to do, but I thought there was improvement tonight.
Speaking of that, John, looked like Stewart was dressed up until just before the game. I mean, did you have any intentions of playing him, or was it just kind of?
You know, kinda, but not really.
Could you expound on that?
I think that's about as expansive as I'm going to be.
Did he just not feel good enough to go?
Not really.
You don't want to answer that.
I thought that was obvious the first time.
You talk about you gave Guy a long look at returns. You talk about how he did.
You know, I thought you know, a couple looked a little shaky, but you know, he did make a nice fair catch. All these guys have done it a little bit before. You know, but he's a guy we saw early in camp. Unfortunately, he's been injured, and then I think he re-injured his hamstring tonight. So, but I thought he did a decent job.
How well did you think Witherspoon did tonight in the third and fourth quarter?
You know, he made a couple nice picks, plays on the ball. You know, I thought we had one, we jumped a little early right there at the end. You know, but he's got some speed. He showed a little flash there as a punt returner, you know, again tonight. So, you know, I thought he had a pretty good game.
John, 3rd straight game, the defense going. A lot of sacks, a lot of pressure. Talk about that.
Yeah, I thought, you know, they've been pretty salty all 3 preseason games thus far. You know, we're again looking at a lot of different players. You know, on the 1 touchdown, we had a group in there that got a little discombobulated as far as matchups. But you know, overall, I thought it was, you know, a pretty strong outing again, both first, second, and third down.
Would you talk about Dan Connor in terms of his progression, taking over at middle linebacker? It seems like he's just getting better and better, looking more comfortable.
I think, you know, Dan's a good football player. You know, he's played a little bit for us, primarily as an outside backer. And, you know, this offseason with the, you know, injury to Thomas Davis, you know, we had to try to look at getting our best 3 on the field of what we knew. That was when we made the move with John out to Will, and we put Dan and Mike, and then James Anderson at the Sam. But I think he's grown every week, you know, every practice. You know, he's that kind of guy. He's got high football character. He's a smart, physical guy, and I think he's just getting more comfortable in the middle.
And could you talk about your special teams? Your special teams, this game in particular, really stepped it up. This is probably its best performance. And would you speak about that a little bit?
I thought we definitely improved from a week ago. But again, we're still looking at guys at different spots, you know, not just as returners, but, you know, the overall football team. And, you know, we blocked things up a little bit better. I thought our kickoff guy had a good evening. You know, I think Jason Baker continues to be good. You know, I'd have liked to have made that field goal there at the end. It would have made it a little bit less interesting, you know, because I'm sure they were gone for 2. And in a preseason game, overtime is not one of those things you're real excited about. You know, I thought, you know, those are the bright spots. Obviously, Goodson, you know, that was a big play. We haven't done that around here in a while. And so it was an improvement from last week.
You faced a quarterback tonight that had a lot of mobility. Were you pleased in how you were able to keep him contained and not let him out of the pocket?
Yeah, I thought overall, it's something we didn't game plan and do a whole lot of, but something we talked about. They saw a little bit at the end of the week as far as the players watching tape, and they're familiar with what his abilities are that way. And I think one time we came underneath, our right end did, and he escaped out his left, our right. But overall, I thought it was pretty good.
Thanks, Tenn.
All right.